Hi everyone, it's Jay here, and these are the manga and manhwa releases for the second half of February. We've got quite a few to get through, so we're going to start with Bloodblade. This is a Kodansha release and it is a new series. Having fallen in battle long ago, Count Vlad Dracula is reborn as a katana-wielding young vampiress in an alternative history Europe. After the reincarnated Dracula rescues a girl named Clara from a mysterious stranger, a girl who has her own past, Clara begs the vampiress to flee with her to an island of monsters where the two of them will be safe. But they are being followed. Then we have Lovely Muko, and this series is based on a real person, a real dog, and a real glass studio. And Muko is a dog whose devotion to her beloved Mr. Komatsu never wavers. She's loving life, even when a dubious new kid appears on the block. And that is out on the 20th of February. We also have Wandance Volume 8. In this volume, Wanda is pursuing a part in Asae's dance showcase, but is worried that while she's a star back in her school, here she may be a small fish in a big pond. Meanwhile, Kabo will have to decide whether he wants to forge ahead with hip-hop or if the call of breakdancing will make him part of Kabe's circle. Then Volume 4 of Tsukumi Project. The travelling companions continue their journey here, which soon leads them to a haven of civilization in the heart of the wilderness. Yet this village is no less fraught with danger. We have Volume 2 of Witch Hat Italia Kitchen, and this is a culinary spin-off that lets readers try their hand at recreating a variety of recipes. The magic is in the kitchen as Kifri and the gang whip up everything, from sizzling stews to crackling croquettes. It includes a variety of real, sweet and savoury recipes with step-by-step instructions. Then we have Volume 11 of Blue Lock. Ego is eager to impart his wisdom on the advancing players, with the unknowns of the third selection looming just ahead. I won't say more than that because of spoilers. I don't want to ruin it for anyone. Then we have Volume 10 of Shangri-La Frontier, and a chance encounter with Lykugon presents a huge opportunity for Sunraku to take down the beast who forced him into an embarrassing situation. However, attacking one of the most powerful existences in SLF without loading up on healing and mana potions is enormously risky. Then we have Volume 19 of Something's Wrong With Us, and Nao's due date for her pregnancy is approaching. Ayako is scheming to control her family though. It all comes to a head at a tea party, so pick this one up if you want to find out what happens. Then we have a new series called The Blue Wolves of Mibu. It's 1863 and Japan is on the cusp of monumental change. The streets of the nation's capital are soaked in blood as political upheaval and rising tensions between masterless, wandering ronin and government samurai set the stage for one of the most turbulent times in Japan's history. Young orphan Neo is no stranger to the harsh realities of the world, and yet he can't help but cling to his burning passion for justice and desire to change the world for the better. Inspired by the efforts of the so-called Blue Wolves of Mibu, Neo decides to join the ranks to help carve a path to the world he wishes to see. And then moving on to the Yen Press releases, we're going to start with A Business Proposal, Volume 4. Now Volume 3 ended with a fair bit of angst, and it sounds like Volume 4 builds on that, with Harry's parents having an accident putting Harry's plans to break up with Temu on hold. I'm very excited for this volume. We also have a new series from Yen Press, and it's called Akko and Bambi. So what happens when you put one down-on-his-luck amateur novelist and one amnesiac ghost girl in one bargain-priced haunted apartment? This is Bambi's life. Akko needs a place to hang out until she can ascend to wherever ghosts go, and Bambi needs source material for his career, so maybe they can have a mutually beneficial relationship. Then we have Volume 4 of Doomsday with My Dog, and a high school girl is the last human on Earth, and alongside her loyal canine companion, she makes her way through the prefectures of post-apocalyptic Japan. taking in the spectacular sights and meeting the locals, from the furry to the intimidating to the outright bizarre. After all, when there's no destination, the journey is all fun. Then we have Volume 7 of I Cannot Reach You, and Yamato and Kakeru are childhood friends, and Kakeru has finally made up his mind to admit his feelings to Yamato. But if he's going to do it, he's going to do it right. He's determined to hit Yamato with the coolest confession ever, except instead of working out, all his plans keep failing, and new misunderstandings complicate everything even more. Will Kakeru find the words he needs to convey his true feelings? Gonna have to read to find out. We have another new series called If the Villainess and Villain Met and Fell in Love. So Bridget Meadell is a disappointment to her noble family and the mockery of her peers at the Ottoliana Academy of Magic, except for one. Yuri is intelligent, handsome, and oh so arrogant. He's made enemies, though, of the same people as Bridget, meaning the two should get along just fine. However, his boorishness accidentally sparks a rivalry between them. Then Kowloon Generic Romance Volume 6. So Kowloon Walled City is a dystopian townscape where the people are brimming with nostalgia. Guided by her desire to become her absolute self, Reiko Kujirai grows ever more interested in what lies beyond the crowded streets of Kowloon. Then we have Volume 3 of Not So Wicked Stepmom. And as Foundation Day approaches, pressure mounts on Abigail to show the world that she and Sabrian are a perfectly happy couple. However, she's got her work cut out for her. News of how Sabrian slapped her hand away during their dance practice has reached the ears of the other nobles. With the adorable Princess Blanche there to give them a push, will the Queen and King be able to build enough trust in each other to attend the festivities as a united front and successfully put the malicious rumours to rest? Then we have Overlord Volume 18, and in this one we have two sides preparing for a large-scale war. Hoping to exploit Ainsley's weakness, Prince Barbaro leads his troops to the humble Khan village, but what he finds there betrays all expectations. Then we have Taking Care of a God. This manga is based on the short story by Shishin Liao. One mysterious day, over 20,000 spaceships settle into stable orbit around Earth, and 6 months later, in a certain Asian village, a young girl named Jihan discovers an old man who fell from the sky. But the strangeness doesn't end there. Soon, many more elderly drifters in peculiar outfits begin descending all over the world, claiming they created human civilization. Now it's humanity's turn to take care of their progenitors, but as Zihan will soon learn, accepting God into your home isn't such a simple matter. Then we have Volume 4 of Tales of the Kingdom. 2 young men, 1 woman, 2 princes, and only 1 throne. On the path to power, many sacrifices have been made, and more still will be required. How far are the brothers willing to go in pursuit of their deepest desires and vengeance? We have Volume 9 of The Dark History of the Reincarnated Villainess. Konoha Sato has a dark history. She spent her teen years writing self-indulgent fantasy romance fics, like her dark history. And now she's in it. At present, Konoha and Isaac are vying for the position of saints. However, Team Isaac, consisting of Isaac and Sato, must emerge triumphant from the trials ahead to stop her dark history in its tracks. Then we have Volume 2 of The Star Seekers, and Star One's highly anticipated comeback performance is interrupted as mysterious assailants burst onto the stage. When one of the attackers rushes straight for Eugene, he is completely defenseless. Then The Villainess Turns the Hourglass Volume 2. Arya has discovered the true power of the hourglass, and with it, getting her revenge on Miel is bound to be easier than ever. Her upcoming birthday will be the true test of whether she's on the right track. The question is, will she be able to celebrate with her new friends, or be shunned as before? Then it's Volume 5 of The World After the Fall, and Jaewan has demonstrated both his power and shrewdness for all to see. but the tournament is not over yet. This time, it's his character that will be put to the test to determine whether he's fit to lead the Abyss expedition. However, it's immediately obvious that he's been set up to fail. Does he sacrifice the few to save the many, or risk losing everything to save the few? Either choice is guaranteed to make him look bad. Then it's Tsubaki Chow Lonely Planet Volume 6. After receiving what seems to be a silent rejection to her confession, Fumi had resolved to erase her feelings and power through her heartbreak. Read to find out what happens next. Another new series from Yen Press, Unholy Blood. And it follows Hyan Park, who is a pure-blood vampire, and all she wanted was a normal life. But the emergence of murderous vampire-human hybrids 10 years ago transformed the world into a dangerous place, forcing her to lie low and keep her secrets hidden. But when a beloved professor of hers is murdered and a local police captain aims his suspicion at Hyan, things start getting personal. Then we have Volume 6 of Villains Are Destined to Die. And following the conditions of a contract between herself and Winter, Penelope is once again leaving the duchy. She joins the Marquis for volunteer work in a war-stricken nation, and while their time there is hectic, the two are able to grab a moment alone at the seaside. But the couple's peace is shattered when they learn Sorcerer children have been kidnapped. I'm really looking forward to reading this, so I definitely need to add this to my shopping list. Another new series, Whoever Steals This Book. Mifuyu is a high school student descended from a long line of book collectors and is surrounded by books in every aspect of her life. Her great-grandfather established the famous Mikura Hall, a library in the heart of town. There's just one problem. Mifuyu hates books. Something I cannot personally relate to, but when a thief in Mikura Hall triggers an ancient curse, she's left with no choice but to reclaim the stolen books herself, by entering the very stories she despises. With the help of the mysterious Mashiro, will she be able to restore her great-grandfather's collection and save her town from a magical doom? We have Elden Ring Volume 2. I'm sure you recognise the name of this manga, based on the hit video game. This series takes a more comedic view of the Elden Ring game, and here, Asio the Tarnished's exploration of Stormvale Castle puts him on a collision course with the demigod, Godric the Grafted. Now they must face each other in a fierce competition. A sculpture competition? Sounds interesting. Then we have another new series called God Bless the Mistaken. And middle schooler Con lives in a world with periodic, exceptional phenomena, more commonly known as bugs. He works as the unofficial assistant to his landlady, Kasane Himesaki, a leading researcher in the field, and they study the effects and impact of these mysterious abnormalities. Some of the bugs bring fun, others intrigue, and others cause inconveniences to their daily lives. Did you notice the cover art? He seems to be floating and their shadows are at the wrong angles when compared to each other. That alone really intrigues me. Let me know in the comments below if you pick this volume up. And we have Children of the Whales Volume 23. This is a Viz Media release and it's the final volume of the series, so make sure you go and buy this one to find out how it all ends. Then it's Volume 5, Chojin X. Tokyo, Eli and Azuma are on a tropical island and they're about to undergo all kinds of intense training from the keepers of Yamato Mori to improve their Chojin skills, but it doesn't quite go to plan. Then Frieren, Beyond Journey's End Volume 10, and years before the end of the war against the Demon King, Macht, the most powerful of the 7 Sages of Destruction, made a deal with the Lord of the Fortress City of Ways in an attempt to understand human emotions. Over time, the deal stopped being beneficial to both sides. Now, the strange tale of Macht, the fate of Ways, and Denken's own past will all lead Freyrin and her companions to one of their most difficult confrontations yet. Then we have Heartgear Volume 3, and set nearly 200 years after the destruction of humanity in World War III, Roe lives a happy life exploring the ruins of civilization with her uncle, a robot named Zet. Now trapped inside a warrior coliseum called Valhalla, a fight is about to start, but Roe is trapped on the lower levels, forced to watch helplessly. Then it's Mission Yozakura Family Volume 9. In this one, the attack on the Tampopo base begins. The Yozakura family quickly discovers the enemy's top fighters, the Nijibana rainbow flowers, all have powers bestowed upon them by the cherry blossom leaf Hazakura serum. How will they deal with this? Then it's Volume 11 of The Way of the House Husband. Tatsu must help Masa move his operation to a new pad. And fast, after the cocky kid lands himself in trouble with his landlady, but Masa lacks the funds to move. Luckily for him, the immortal dragon has some house husband tricks up his sleeve to transform even the cheapest, shadiest apartment into a comfortable crib. Then it's Twin Star Exorcists, Volume 13, and it's all happening in this volume. Rokuro learns the shocking true identity of the king of the Kegare, his best friend is grievously wounded, and Exorcist Subaru is ready to make the ultimate sacrifice to kill Benyo. We have a new release, My Name is Shingo, The Perfect Edition Volume 1, and this is a science fiction horror manga about humanity and artificial intelligence by Kazuo Umes. It follows Satoru, who becomes fascinated by an industrial robot named Monroe when it begins to work at his father's factory. As he and his friend Marin spend more time with Monroe, they start to suspect that there's much more to the machine than anyone else realizes. But neither children nor adults are prepared for Monroe's violent awakening into consciousness. This volume is 304 pages long, so longer than your typical volume. I think it sounds like it's going to be a great read. Let me know in the comments below if you've read this or you are going to pick this one up. Then it's Volume 2 of Lonely Castle in the Mirror. 7 junior high students are granted access to a mysterious castle. The only thing connecting the kids is that none of them go to school during the day. Kokoro sees the castle as the only place where she truly belongs, but not everyone feels that way. Urashino announces one day that he's going back to school, but as summer vacation comes to an end, Urashino returns with mysterious injuries. Then we have Volume 3 of A Stepmother's Mershan. The Mershaness Shuri got the chance to redo the last 7 years of her life and managed to mend her broken relationship with her 4 stepchildren. Her devotion is tested, however, when the eldest stepchild, Jeremy, commits an act that could be considered treason and receives a harsh punishment from the Empress. Shuri's only recourse to save Jeremy is to find a way to declare him the head of the household, effectively removing herself from the estate completely, but that is not going to be an easy task. Then we have Volume 2 of Black Knight Parade. Next, a mysterious faceless man dressed in a jet black Santa suit whisked Miharu away from his not-so-great life to the North Pole for a job at his company, the Santa Claus House. With a hefty salary, incredible benefits, and a dorm filled with wonderful co-workers, Miharu works diligently, despite his bizarre manager and the strange nature of his duties. Unfortunately, one of his least favourite people in the world suddenly appears. Then Yokai Cats Volume 7. More yokai cats join our old friends in this one. Meet one who grows 9 tails as it ages and can disguise itself as other objects. Another who feels great on days with thunderstorms, with its body generating small amounts of electricity. Definitely one for all the cat lovers out there. Reincarnated as a Dragon Hatchling, Volume 5, and this is a fantasy isekai adventure about a man who has to restart life as an egg, leveling up to become bigger and stronger. After the last fight though, he has somehow ended up in the desert with no forest and no shade. Read to find out what happens next. Then we have Volume 2 of The Dangerous Convenience Store. Convenience store clerk Yui Jun isn't sure what his relationship with the gangster Gunru is. They've spent a night together, been on a date, and sometimes the way Gunru touches him feels like true tenderness, but it's hard for him to tell what the stoic older man is thinking. Then we have Volume 4 of The Haunted Bookstore. This is the final volume of the series, so pick it up if you want to find out how it all ends. The Invisible Man and His Soon-to-Be Wife, Volume 3. Private Eye Tonome is a kind and dapper gentleman known for his unique ability, invisibility. While this attribute gives him a heads up in his career, there's one person who always knows exactly where he is: his blind girlfriend, Yako. The oddly compatible couple are still getting used to dating, and Yako in particular is always disarmed by Tonome's confident displays of affection. Their sweet office romance continues to unfold. Moving on to the Square Enix releases, we have Mr. Villain's Day Off, Volume 3. And a high-ranking supervillain called the General is finding that it isn't easy plotting to take over the Earth. He finds himself stressed every day, seeking solace in humble convenience store desserts. On his precious days off, he's free to think about nothing but pandas from sunrise to sunset. But first, he must survive another week before he can reach his day off. I really want to read this. I just haven't got round to it yet. Then we have I Think Our Son Is Gay Volume 5. Tomoko is the mum in this story, and she's always keeping an eye on her two sons, whilst her husband is away for work most of the time. Her son Hiroki has found a new hobby: dancing. Things come to a head though with Asumi, Hiroki's childhood friend, who's been crushing on Hiroki since probably forever. This is the final volume of the series. Then a new series, Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You. Described as a sweet and sour comedy, it follows an overworked salaryman and a mischievous cashier with a dual personality who form an unexpected bond. At age 45, office worker Sasaki has had enough of the corporate grind. His only solace is smoking and the friendly smile of supermarket cashier Yamada. When Sasaki can't find Yamada after a particularly trying day, a striking woman invites him to smoke with her. The despondent man thinks he's made a new smoking buddy in the cool, teasing Tayama. But Sasaki doesn't realise he already knows her. And that is being released on the 20th of February. And on the 27th of February, Cherry Magic Volume 10 is being released. Adachi and Kurosawa are enjoying their life as newlyweds. Some things have changed and others haven't. Every day they spend together is happiness itself. Meanwhile, Tsuge and Minato have officially started dating, but their relationship doesn't seem to be going anywhere, creating anxiety for Tsuge. So those are all the releases for the second half of February. There are a lot of releases, so I'm sorry about the long video. However, I hope there's something there that interests you and makes you want to pick it up. Let me know in the comments below which volumes you are going to pick up. And as always, there is a code for SciFier.com and it will get you 10% off up until I think it's the 22nd of February 2024. After that, I think SciFier are dropping the discount to 5%. So if you want to make the most of that 10% discount, please do use it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like and subscribe. Bye everyone.